let me ask you here first off then. Tell me about a remarkable career, 500-plus victories, getting that milestone this season. What made you decide that now was the time?
Physical. I've had some injuries the last 4 years. I really intended to coach 5 to 7 more years, but I got to the point I couldn't coach like I wanted to coach. I couldn't get down in and do what I need to do in the drills. I just I got a couple of injuries. Both hamstrings ruptured, and can't back up, get out of the way. So I became an endangerment to my own health as well as to the players. And now the officials claim I'm endangering them on side. So I thought it best that I go ahead and hang it up at this time.
When you finally arrived at the decision, how hard was it for you, the family? I mean, you've had an unbelievable career, the 506 wins, all the state championships. Was it an easy decision, or did you wrestle with it for a while?
Well, I've been debating it, back and forth, but I never improved much. It's tough to try to coach and not be able to do the things that, it's probably like when you're aging as a athlete and you can't do the things you did. But I got to the point I couldn't get down and do what I need to do in team stuff and get in, always like getting around the linebackers or in the backfield on offense. And I just got to the point I couldn't move, especially backwards. It just didn't work. So it was it's something I talked over with my wife. Came to the conclusion, and she was the biggest fan. I mean, she was always there. So it was one of those decisions, it's never easy to make, but it was the right one.
Tell me what it meant for you to have the turnout when you got the 500th win this year. Certainly your wife was there, your family, to have the stadium at Darling with your name there by the scoreboard. I mean, those things have to touch you in a lot of ways, don't they?
Well, I think that in itself was a team effort with all the coaches, all the players that's been there. I've been a very fortunate coach and having great support from the family. And like I said, my wife never missed a game. I don't care where she is. If it's a bowl game, she's going to be back. No matter if she got to fly the red eye. But that was a touching time. But, it's I want to have this thing today, but in the spring I want to have something for a couple of days, cook up something where I can invite all the players back that's played, because it took us all.
That would be awesome, and certainly with everything that's going on here with COVID this past crazy year, it's been wild and wacky, Coach. But what do you hope your legacy is from being at Hampton High School for over 50 years? It's remarkable that you stayed there that long and had the longevity and consistency of success. You didn't go to another school. You didn't go to college. You stayed there at Hampton High. You're a Crabber through and through. What do you hope your legacy is?
Well, I think it turns out in the product, kids, my philosophy was always if the kids don't get some redeeming social values from football, then it's a lost cause. But we've had some great athletes, great football players, and we've had some just dedicated kids that never were great athletes, but worked really hard and were just part of the team. So I think the thing is most important that they become knowledgeable in the fact that it's got to be a team. It's got to be. You find that the better teams you have, of course, you get to have some athletic ability, but they're very close knit. They love each other. They play for each other rather than themselves. So they've been very tight to school in itself. I had 2 longtime coaches for me that were so vitally important. It was Danny Mitchell, who has passed now, and we missed him terribly, and Albus Mann, and they were there for years. And I mean, they great guys, great coaches, and loved the kids. It was a great, and they loved the school. And it seems like high school football is just you don't get the numbers. No one to get the numbers that they used to get. It's just not here. It's in all the states. So I don't know. You try to put a lot in a few words, and it's just impossible to do. I've been fortunate, and I realized long ago no one ever won the Kentucky Derby on a mule. You got to have thoroughbreds, but I think the biggest thing was you have to really care for the kids and the coaches that you're coaching with. Let the coaches coach, and everybody be on the same page. And I mean, you got to do it with tough love. I mean, you got to love the kids, but you still got to, you got to instill the discipline. And they understand that criticism is not criticism itself, but constructive criticism. So those were the philosophies that we lived by. And it turned out to be real good for us. I mean, and you take the fact that the year I retired, I only got to coach 5 games. And then this past winter, we only had 5. And I think, other than the number, is never had a losing season. But we averaged, you add all that up, it would be 50 years instead of 51 because those 2 half seasons make 1 season. So we ended up with 10 wins a year for 50 years. That's a great compliment to the kids. Yeah, I didn't do it. I'm just lucky enough to be part of it.
Well, you're modest, but you certainly are the all-time guy in our state's history, Coach. And the last 2 let you run. Appreciate the time here. But what are you most proud of? Is it that longevity and consistency of the 50 years, the state championships, the wins, all those things thrown together, or just these guys that played for Hampton, played for you? I mean, go to the list of the guys, the Tyrods, the Ronald Currys, the Hagans. We go down all these guys. They come back. They wear that Crabber pride. Is that what you're most proud of, or is it just all those things blended into one? Or something else?
I think the total thing is that it's the kids themselves, the kids and their families. I mean, and like I said, those guys all were, I guess you would term them stars, and they deserved everything they got. But there were some guys that never got the ink or the publicity that those guys got. That it just, sometimes it's those guys that never get in the game or the last few minutes back when we were so strong that they work hard every day, and the kids on the team love them. So it's got to be a total thing. The water boy's got to be just as important as the quarterback, and that's the philosophy we work by. And I'm so proud of the kids that's going on and out into the society and back into our area that have, and away from here, that have done well, and they become good citizens. That's what I'm more proud of than anything.
Get you on this, and I appreciate your time. I don't know if you would have ever envisioned that you would have the amount of wins and championships and years at one school that you've had to pretty much cement yourself atop the record books for all time. But now what does Mike Smith do here on a Friday night? It's not going to feel the same not having you out there on the football field at Darling or Todd Stadium for a big Friday night in September here for football. What do you do now here in your free time, your spare time? I mean, I guess spend more time with Lisa, the family, the kids. What are you going to be up to now? No coaching football.
I'm going to let Lisa do the planning. Hey, we'll spend a little bit more time on the beach, a little more time going to see. We have some young grandchildren. They're here today, and came from California. My youngest daughter's got one that's 3 and 7, and my son's got one that's 10 and 8 from here from Boston, Brian. And so we'll probably have a little more time spent with them and the other kids. And time slips up on you, though. I never realized I was about 15 years behind on my age. After the pandemic hit, I began to realize I was older than I thought I was.
Well, hey, it's been an absolute pleasure to cover your teams, chat with you. I think we've all been better watching Mike Smith and the Crabbers play. So thank you so much. Enjoy the retirement, and definitely don't be a stranger. We'd like to get you in studio one night, let the fans call in and talk to you and reminisce. Maybe have a sit-down we put up on the website as well to kind of commemorate all your Crabbers, coaches, players, and everybody over the last 50 years. So thank you so much, and enjoy it.
That would be good, and I appreciate the support from you guys. It'd be good.
Thank you, Coach. All right, have a good one.